Hi everybody, welcome to day 3 of oil camp. Today we're talking about frankincense, and I'm going to be talking about specifically how to show you a super easy DIY. Now when I got started with doTERRA, I never ever saw myself being someone who did do-it-yourself projects. I thought they seemed way too complicated, time-consuming, and I didn't think it would be easy to find any of the ingredients that would go into some of these recipes. So it never occurred to me to actually want to dive in and do that. However, as I started realizing and learning through research how toxic a lot of the products that we use on a regular basis on our body are, I thought, maybe there's something to this DIY. When we started running oil camp back in June of last year, that's where I really started to dive in and try these recipes. They're super easy. So today we're going to be talking about a frankincense salve. It's a very versatile recipe. I got this off of the doTERRA blog. So if you go to doTERRA.com and under the menu item Our Advocates, on the left-hand side you will see the 3 different blogs that doTERRA has. But if you were to click on product, you would be able to find some of these recipes. And you can also just actually Google search, doTERRA DIY or doTERRA blog and find these recipes. So this one's super easy. So today we're creating one that's going to help with our skin. So during the winter, we get really dry, scaly, maybe even cracked skin. And some of us might even struggle throughout the year with dry skin. So this salve is meant to help provide sort of moisture to your skin. Even if you have a little bit of a skin irritation, it's going to be wonderful for that as well. And as I mentioned, these are versatile. So I make the same recipe and I swap out an oil and add in an oil specifically to help with respiratory support. So this one is really good. You can even add in like Serenity or Citrus Bliss. I mean, you can use whatever you like. A lot of oils have very similar properties and you can just change it up depending on what you want to accomplish. Okay, so I promise you this is super easy. I'm not actually going to make it. I've done that many times and I've got a lot of these salves. They are a great gift idea. This particular recipe makes a lot, so you might either want to cut it in half or keep in mind who maybe you'd want to give some of these oils to, or some of these salves to. So what you're going to need is a half a cup of grapeseed oil, a half a cup of almond oil. You're going to need a half a tablespoon of vitamin E, and you're going to need 2 tablespoons of beeswax. So this is my beeswax that I bought just at my local health food store. You can buy them in pellets. However, they only had a brick, and actually I kind of like this because you can just simply grate it on a grater to get your 2 tablespoons worth. Now, the essential oils that you're going to be using, there's going to be 5 drops of each of these oils. So, of course, we're going to use frankincense, which is one of the most powerful essential oils out there. Great for your skin. You're going to also use eucalyptus, tea tree oil, known as first aid to your skin. We have cypress, and we have lavender. So you're going to be using 5 drops of each of those. So you're going to need a double broiler. However, if you're like me, I don't have a double broiler and I love to cook, and I'm thinking, why don't I have a double broiler? But anyways, I'm not much of a baker, and I think that's what bakers use. I don't know. So what I did was I grabbed a pot and I have a really big measuring cup, and so I just placed this inside of my pot. So you boil up the water and then bring it to a simmer, and then you're going to add your beeswax, your oils, like your grapeseed, your almond, and your vitamin E. So those 4 ingredients together. You're melting the beeswax, and you're just making sure that everything mixes up. Once that happens, you're going to take it off the stove, and you're going to let it cool about 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes, and then you're going to start adding in your oils. So 5 drops of each essential oil. Then you're just going to simply mix it up, and so you're going to have that mixture in a measuring cup. And so once you've mixed it up, you can simply grab a jar. So I bought this frosted jar. It's actually a cosmetic jar that I bought from online from a website that's mebcanada.com. You can also buy similar ones, but the ones I bought from the dollar store are not frosted. It doesn't have to be frosted. I just happen to really like this jar. And I think this is a 30 ml, but it doesn't really matter what size your jar jars are. You can use 30, 50, and even bigger. It's not really a problem. Like I said, the smaller they are, then you're going to have lots of different jars, and so you're going to want to definitely give these away as gift ideas. So the consistency, as I mentioned, is very similar to petroleum jellies. So I don't know if you can kind of see that consistency. And you just simply dip your finger in and rub it on your hands or your elbows or wherever you need that extra moisture. I also make a similar one, as I mentioned, for respiratory support. So I would take out the cypress and I would add in our Easy Air blend, which is a really lovely smell. And I would put 5 drops of that in place of the cypress. And then you would just use it and rub it on your chest, on your throat, or underneath your nose. It's kind of our natural version of Vicks. Remember when grandma or your mom used to put Vicks on your feet or your chest when you had a cold? That would be the same concept. So this should really literally take you no more than 10 minutes to make. And the shelf life, I always get that question about how long will this last. So essential oils, when they're absolutely pure, do not go rancid. So we do have to worry about like the carrier oils that are in here. So each oil, like almond oil and grapeseed, they will have a shelf life of their own. So it really depends on them, because that's what will go rancid in your mixture. So I don't have an exact answer. However, I can tell you I did make some of mine 10 months ago or 9 months ago, and they're still really good. They don't have a rancid smell. So I'm thinking that this is going to be a good mixture to have on hand for at least a year, if not longer. So you'll be able to tell when you open up the jar and smell it. And I just store them on my shelf. I don't put them in the fridge or anything like that. So yeah, it's going to be really simple. So get out there and get the products that you need and the ingredients that you need and get making your own salve. Hope you enjoy.